Welcome for those who are just joining. It's a new month. We are December 3rd today. So I'm super excited about all of the cool offerings that doTERRA has with December. They always do such a fantastic job. Um, but the product of the month, the free product of the month is Adaptive with 10% off the Adaptive caps. And then, as always, free Frank, any 200 PV order. So loving the holiday festivity that comes with those offerings. Super grateful the way doTERRA brings it. So hopefully you are leveraging those great deals. Hopefully you cashed in on the BOGOs last month. I was just getting a report from Alora yesterday, and the numbers were great. Got some really good, I think it was like up 12% over the November of last year. So super, super cool. All right. Well, next week we have the Blue and Presidential Summit in Lake Tahoe. So I will not be on with you, but Tiffany has offered to host next week. So you'll be in good hands, the best. And so um, we also had a call yesterday for Blues and Presidentials. And it was super insightful just to hear from, I mean, it was probably the best organized call Natalie and I have been on since the beginning. It was it was structured. Everybody had slides. They had a talk track. We got to hear from our CTO, and gosh, it was just we're in such good hands, guys. Um, Also had a separate call with John Jensen. Um, Super grateful. They're thinking of some things that are just little roadblocks that, just make things just barely hard enough to kind of take the joy out of the journey. So I can't share too much, but what John Jensen shared had to do with, well, actually, it was Michael Sterling too. He's been working on this. Had to do with just streamlining placements, making it so that um, there's it's taking guesswork out of placements and just helping everything go right. That's about all I can say. So there's a lot of tech that has to happen for that to roll out. So they're hoping to be able to announce something at leadership next year. Um, so anyways, lots of good stuff coming. We were also looking at the promotions calendar for the year and um, super inspired by just the thought, the creativity that's going into the whole lineup. So, yeah, that probably felt like a whole lot of teasers and nothing real, but um, unfortunately, that's about all I can say. So, yeah, let's jump into Q&A. I'm here to serve you, and I'd love to hear how I can support. What are your questions? What are your goals that you're working through, your limiting beliefs, whatever's coming up for you. And yes, we will receive the calendar, um, and we can share some of the details as soon as we get it at the meeting next week. So, you know us and calendars, we love them and we love to share them. So don't you worry. All right. Go ahead and raise your hand. Um, Whatever you want to talk through, would love to cover it. And while we're waiting for the first person to raise their hand, I want to give some more detail about the event we hosted. So we hosted a big one a couple weeks ago, and we hosted a more intimate one last night. Um, so we called it Natural Solutions Unplugged. Um, and I wonder if I have the graphic. I'll be looking for the graphic. But the idea is everybody leaves their phone at the door and everybody just gets to share, um, you know, real stories, and the real power of essential oils. It's a return to the old days. We used to have these all the time with, Laura Jacobs, Dr. Hill. Didn't matter who was there. We just had some real talk about the healing power of the essential oils. And the one 2 weeks ago was super well attended. We sold out about 200 tickets. And the one last night proved that you can do it um, without having a star-studded panel like we had. We had Dr. Hill, we had Dr. Riggs, we had Laura Jacobs, we had Lauren Bush. But the cool thing is, all you need to host one of these events is a reference guide. We love the Essential Life book. And so that's the one that, pretty much everyone on the panel had one. So people would throw out their questions, somebody would write them down on a board, and then we just looked them up and we just went through the solutions and we told lots of stories. So yeah, and it was epic. It was so good. Brenda was there. So fun to have her share some of her stories. But I don't know if that's what you were raising your hand about or if you had a question, Brenda.
I do have a question, and it's about this because I did go to both events and I loved them from the standpoint of like just real talk. Um, and I loved it so much that I'm actually doing one at my house in 2 weeks. And so I'm excited about that. But as I crawled into bed last night, I started thinking about like who I'm going to invite. And honestly, tons of the people that came to mind don't know anything about, compliance or um, like any of that kind of stuff. And so I just don't know, like, do I market it the same? Because I feel like the marketing that we're doing with the Unplugged event is really to people who've been there been around for a long time and who miss the old days. But if I'm inviting new people, they don't really care about that. They just want
Yeah,
answers, right?
totally. I love this question. And I love, yeah, we really did target the OGs with the first event because that's they were there, they felt it. You were there
Yeah.
at the old, back in the days.
Yep.
So if we can ignite that wave first to then go out, I think a lot of the messaging is should be very similar to what we used in the early days. Learn how to be a healer in your home. Come learn how to make over your medicine cabinet. Are you tired of prescriptions with side effects? Are you tired of, um, you know, not being in control of your family's health?
Right.
Come learn how to take control back. So those are my ideas. If you're targeting newbies, people who are brand new to essential oils, because those are messages that I think are pretty appealing and pretty universal.
People are really, really looking for answers. And so, as I thought of specific people, I have a few new people who have just recently signed up
Hmm.
um, and who are just getting their product, for the first time, and they're excited and they know, I think they'll probably, if they can come, they'll probably bring other people with them. And so, yeah, so I don't really want to send them an unplugged
Right.
invitation because it just feels
Yeah.
like this is weird,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I
And
think go back to the original messaging.
yeah, yeah. And then my other question on that is, um, if you're bringing in all new people, I mean, at the two that I've gone to, we had to leave our phones in the car or, set them on the counter or whatever so that they were just
Hmm.
like kind of unavailable. But with new people, I mean, does that feel weird? Like, can we just let them leave their
So here's
phones
what
in their pockets unless they pull them out and start taking pictures or trying to record?
so you could, but here are my thoughts on that. Um, I think it's fine to just be like, um, the nature of this event. Um, we really like. to have people fully present. And and so we've done this event this exact type of event a couple times, and we've just found it really works best when we go low tech, when people have their technology away from them, and it's just yeah, old school pen on paper, right? Taking notes and being present. Um, so I think with new people, you don't need to tell the whole FDA story. It
Yeah,
probably
that's
doesn't.
kind of what I'm thinking too. I think it
Yeah,
just raises a bunch of red flags.
yeah, yeah. So I would just use other reasons. Um, but yeah, that's I was just blown away though. When you have 200 people in a room who are sitting undivided attention for 3 hours,
Yeah.
it's something special.
Eating it up. Like the
Like that
whole
does,
thing was
yeah,
just, and I was taking notes as fast as I possibly could. I mean, it did feel like the old days.
totally.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. I love what Karina says in the comments. She says, I think it's more about the intention. When you're asking people to unplug, they're intentionally unplugging by taking the action it takes. It makes it more intentional. So, yeah, that's,
Okay, I like it. I can totally get behind it from that standpoint also of just like we could still call it an unplugged event in the sense of just
uh-huh,
come and just be fully present. Like put your phone away,
totally.
don't pull it out. Like you might be tempted to, blah blah whatever, but just write it down because that mind hand connection is
Hmm.
be so powerful. And then the other thing that I think is super powerful is if we say people are going to come to mind while we're
Yeah.
talking, and so like take a little spot in your notebook, maybe a page on the back or something like that, that's just like write down the names of the people and what you thought of them for, and then you'll be ready to help. Because I do think, I mean, the thing that feels so the spark or the fire that feels so much like it's being nurtured and grown in me is about this. Like people are suffering. I mean, so much
Hmm.
suffering, and we want
Yep.
people to feel better, and they don't think they
Hmm.
can. And yeah, just like
Yep.
we want to talk about all the things, and we also don't want them to feel like they have to like be so vulnerable, and yet they can be
Hmm.
vulnerable enough, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I love what you're saying, Brenda. Like that, I think that was a big part of the magic that we had 10 years ago is people like us fell in love with being a healer. It was so empowering to um, to really give powerful solutions to other people.
Right.
That Seth pointed this out to us just a few weeks ago. He was like, you know what's crazy about the supplements is they're kind of selfish in the sense that you don't really go out and become an evangelist to help, your dying uncle take VMG. Um, so in that sense, supplements are a little bit more self-centered, whereas essential oils are primarily like other-centered.
Yeah.
Like that's what that was for a lot of us. That's why we got in line to talk to Dr. Hill and
Yeah.
waited 2 hours was because of the dying uncle or the whatever. I mean, all,
Well,
all
and
the all the health issues that came up, like it was really a ministry of service.
yes, and how can we help to relieve that suffering? So my kids, you just reminded me of this story, but my children, so I went through a divorce, and my children, when their grandmother had a gosh, I still cry. It's been 10 years. Um, but she had a shoulder surgery. She threw a blood clot and was
Mm,
unconscious for several days before she passed.
mm,
And of course, I wasn't invited, but my children were invited to go. And I sent them with at the time, a family physician kit. And I said, you can
mm,
put these on your grandma. And
mm,
they did. They put frankincense on her feet. And one of the sisters called me, or I saw her at some event in the future, and she said that was so special. It felt like an anointing.
mm,
These little boys, 10 and
mhm,
11 years old, anointing their grandmother for her
Hmm.
burial. Like it was so precious. And I know that
Wow.
that I mean that to me is what we're doing to like we didn't save her
Hmm.
life. She didn't get her mind back. She didn't wake up,
Hmm.
but it was so comforting to the family. It was
Hmm.
so precious. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, that's a powerful story. Thank you for sharing.
yeah,
And yeah, the ministry of healing is like that's what created the movement.
right.
When we could all just say, like, what I do is I help heal the world,
Yeah.
you
I'm gonna
know?
change your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So that's our vision of what we can get back to, um, is that movement of focusing on others, focusing on the one, and just, yeah, being a freedom fighter.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, well, thank you. I'm excited and
Yeah, we're
we'll
excited for your event.
see how it goes.
Way to take the challenge. Sarah Maria is pretty good at throwing down challenges.
She's like, "Are you going to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I am."
I love it.
So,
So
yeah,
fun.
awesome.
Okay, we'll be cheering for you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm seeing lots of people in the notes. Um, like, I want to hear more about how to host one of these. So here's the good news. These are the lowest tech events you'll ever attend, you'll ever run. It's literally like it's just phones away, screens away. Like we didn't use a PowerPoint last night. It was just like let's look up our stuff and just focus on helping each other find solutions. That's really all we did. Um, yeah, there was literally no agenda, like no structured outline besides that. It was literally just, okay, we're coming together. Part of we had people register for the event just so they could put in questions. That was the only reason. And so we just used Ticket Tailor. You could use Eventbrite. So many great tools out there. But that was um, I think part of the power of the event is we literally, and last night's event was only 2.5 hours. The first half hour was kind of a make and take DIY thing. Um, and that we just spent those 2 hours looking stuff up and sharing solutions. So, Lorraine, bonjour.
Bonjour Andy, je vois que tu as autant de neige que chez nous.
Oui. Et toi aussi?
Oui, c'est un peu parti, mais on en a aussi eu beaucoup.
Euh,
It's
c'est
so good
joli.
to see you.
You too.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but I really wanted to give you a feedback on the experience doTERRA
Oh,
that we
yes.
hosted in November. I don't have the final numbers, but from what I've got, it's a 100% conversion rate.
Wow. That's
So
fantastic.
thank you so much. We needed to adapt it because we've got less time than what's
Uh-huh.
on your agenda. And
Yeah.
so we needed to adapt and to make it our own way or what we thought was behind the titles. But I really want to thank you for sharing your structure and everything because it's really precious and it's working so well. So I really
Oh,
just can encourage everyone to host one of those events. It was really nice, really great, and the results were amazing. So
oh, that makes me so happy. Thank you for sharing that, Lorraine. That's amazing. And
yeah.
were you able to collaborate with other leaders to put it on?
We were the one hosting and
Hmm.
presenting the majority of the day because the other one they didn't want to commit to that. But we've got
Okay.
other leaders come. They came and they made testimonials about the product, about the business.
Awesome.
Our upline came as well to do the testimony on the business, and yeah, it was really
Amazing.
a wonderful day.
That's fantastic. Wow. That makes me so happy.
Yeah,
Way
so
to
just
go.
The other one, just do it if you feel open or attracted to do it because we loved it, really.
I love it. Um,
And
so for those who don't know what Loren's talking about, we host an Experience doTERRA here every month, and we have all the resources that you need to host your own. I think it's at sharesuccess.com/leadership. Just checking to see. Uh, did we move it somewhere else? Okay, someone help me out because I can't remember where we. Oh, maybe we
uh,
put it. Did we put it in the library? Oh, nope, it's here. Okay, so I'll share my screen. So sharesuccess.com/leadership. And for anybody who wants to host their own, you can just go to sharesuccess.com/leadership, scroll down, and you'll see the schedule here and the PowerPoint here. And there's nothing sacred about this. Don't feel like you have to follow it religiously. You can make it longer, shorter, adapt it to your the leaders that you have. That's probably the main thing is just whoever you have available, let them guide what you present. But yeah, those are resources, and we've got lots of team holding their own. We've got team members in Indonesia holding their own on the regular. One of our cross line is holding one in Idaho uh, on the regular. So it's a powerful model. Um, yeah, if you want to come to ours here in Utah, just go to experiencedoterra.com, and we've got the whole 2026 calendar all laid out with registration. So thank you for sharing, Loren. I'm so happy to hear that.
yeah, and thank you for sharing everything with us. It's really precious. I think I'm gonna do it once a month as well.
Awesome.
Uh, at our home, I think at the beginning it doesn't need to.
Right.
We can rent a room here, or if there is less people, do it here in our home. So I'm gonna
Fantastic.
continue to do it. I loved it. So thank you
Awesome.
again.
You're so welcome. So good to see you, and thanks for hopping on.
Thank you.
Okay, somebody's asking who is the one doing it in Idaho. So that's Melody Watts. I think she's a double diamond. I don't know if she opens them up to other teams, but I guess you can always reach out to her and find out. Um, okay, other comments. Um, do you have an invite template on DMK for the Natural Solutions Unplugged? So this is not a corporate event. So corporate wouldn't be providing any materials in their marketing kit. So it's really, really simple, guys. Like we didn't use a fancy graphic. We just had like a picture of some women talking in a living room and just put Natural Solutions Unplugged at the top. Like we really wanted to feel just kind of homegrown, handmade, like just come for a conversation. So I would suggest you do the same. The more duplicatable we can make these, the better they're going to duplicate. So, and Jessica says, on the topic of being unplugged, um, there's also research about how writing by hand in many languages is a bilateral right to left movement, and bilateral movement is neuroregenerative in and of itself, especially if paired with vulnerability. It's like a free DIY EMDR. So that can add to the unplugged and mindful elements of the event. Love that. Love it when there's good science. Um, and then somebody is asking if there's a recording of the Experience doTERRA. Yes. So let me show the link to that. It's at sharesuccess.com/experience doTERRA with no dash in the middle. So we didn't get very creative with our domain names. We should have maybe done something like recording. So I just pasted that link into the chat. So if you want to watch a recording, this was done during COVID. So there were no physical gatherings for a while. And so that was the edited. You can just click on each portion. That one's all chunked by presenter. So, and then Karina, the resource that I was showing on screen was sharesuccess.com/leadership. Okay, somebody says, do you have testimonies that you can share? So, if you're talking about like testimonies of oil stories, um, it's probably best if you can get some existing customers there. That's what we did last night. That's what we did a couple weeks ago. Um, so that would be my advice is live is always better. And if you don't have um, anyone else except for newbies coming, like if you're Brenda, I mean Brenda's going to have her own stories, but if you don't, um, we just learned about a new resource, and this is a resource coming from Essential Life, and apparently they've been gathering testimonials um, for quite some time, and and I was blown away by how good they are. So let me see if I can share my screen. So if you go to essentiallife.com/videos, um, you can see there are quite a good library here of testimonials, and they're labeled based on what need was met. I watched this one called Everest Focus, and it is so sweet. It's about this boy with ADHD and his journey using Intune, and it's more told from the perspective of his mom. Um, but the boy, like, he had felt really shamed by his by his teachers, um, and there's just it was a really negative experience all of school. But at the very end, he's telling what he wants to be when he grows up, and he says he wants to be a teacher, and it's just so sweet. Like this boy who's had such a negative experience wants to go into that field and be a teacher. So go check out those resources. The inflammation one's really good. Anyways, there's some Dr. Stoyer stuff. I think this one and Killing Bacteria are both Dr. Stoyer. And then this is the Stoyer's story in doTERRA. So anyways, go check that out. Lots of good stuff to check out. Um, okay. So somebody from Montana is saying they wanted to drive down to the event. Um, so January 22nd, we've got another one coming up. So I posted the link in the chat, but in case you missed it, I'll post that again. So anybody who wants to come to the Utah one in January, we'd love to have you. Um, it's a powerful event. Leanne's asking for the graphic or link for the Unplugged. I don't have that handy. We created it in Figma, which I don't think a lot of people use Figma. It's not like Canva, which is more ubiquitous. So I will work on that, and I'll post it on the Share Success Facebook page later today. So stay tuned to that page, and we will share it. All right, what other questions do you have? Raise your hand. We can bring you on live, or just post your question in the chat. If you want some ideas for like if you want to do the DIY part beforehand, I think it's a really nice way to kind of break the ice. It just gets people, interacting with other people, opening their minds to all the possibilities. So I've seen a sample, like a table where people could sample the electrolytes. That was really cool. Another table where people could sample the VMG. I've seen other tables where people could make, somebody had a station where you could make dishwasher pods. So that was super cool. At the big event, we had Zyto there. And so people could do a Zytoscan or a Visera scan. Um, and then last night, they kind of more Christmas focused. And so they had pine cones that you could add essential oils to and have your own little aromatic natural diffuser. Um, let's see, if you're still on, Brenda, maybe you can help me remember some of the other stations they had last night or at the big event. Um, gosh, I mean, the sky's the limit. You could have people make roller bottles, roller blends. Um, yeah. Okay, Brenda's saying bath salts. That's right. Yeah, I saw bath salts. Um, yeah, super fun. Okay, Karina is asking, what platform do you use for the blast text messaging? We use Project Broadcast. That's our tool of choice. I know there's a lot out there, um, but projectbroadcast.com has worked great. Um, all right, somebody's got a question here in the Q&A. Okay, Sandra says, I really want to start hosting classes, but I feel so insecure. How do I get past this? So, Sandra, I'm willing to bet a lot of money that you're not alone. I'll bet that there are lots of people here on this call right now who are in exactly the same camp. So I just, first of all, want you to know that you're in good company. Um, so feeling insecure. Let's take a deeper look at what is the insecurity about. Um, it could be I'm worried that nobody will come, or I'm worried that maybe I'll have one person show up and I'll look dumb. Maybe I'm worried that um, three people will come and um, they'll have a terrible experience. Whatever the insecurity is, if you can get to the root of what the insecurity is, but 90% of insecurities have to do with what will people think of me. So the fear is that I won't look good, I won't look smart, um, that maybe I'll make doTERRA look bad. It tends to the insecurities are generally about public opinion, right? What are people going to think? So I want to invite you to lean into what we were talking about earlier. If this is a ministry of healing, then is it really about you? Are you inviting people to show off how smart you are, how good you look, how successful you are in doTERRA? Um, the culture of doTERRA, what I think makes us great, is that's not who we are. We don't, um, you know, we don't flash big checks at our convention. We don't show off big cars. We don't tell stories of, fabulous of how good I look, and we don't have women in bikinis like a lot of conventions do. We're really different. We really are about healing the world. And so, um, if you're open to some feedback, um, when you're focused on what others think about you, you're being selfish because you're focused on you. If you can bring it back to serving and solving other people's issues, then you really can't fail. I always look to, you know, the best-selling book of all time is the Bible, and the most important story is about the life of Christ, and that's all he did. He just went about serving, and and he didn't care what people thought about him. Um, the only times he asked what people thought about him was because it mattered to the person. It didn't matter to him, it mattered to the person. So, um, yeah, I guess that's my main feedback is lean into being a healer, lean into being a problem solver, and focus all that attention is going somewhere. All you need to do is just redirect it to them. So let's say one person shows up at your event, at your class. Awesome. Guess what that means? You get to spend the whole time solving their issues and talking about um, everything that's coming up for them, their family, their loved ones, and just make it like really, really tailored to them. So that would be my coaching for you, Sandra, and anybody else who's in that camp of feeling feeling insecure. Um, okay. Okay, Sandra, you were told the corporate asked us not to. Which what what specifically are you talking about? Um, just so we can address your question. Um, okay, Leanne is asking, do you recommend that we charge when we host our own natural solutions unplugged? So the only reason we charged was because people tend to show up and sometimes I register for free events, not knowing if I'm going to go. But when you put $5 in, it's like, okay, I'm going to really show up. It also helped pay for some of the DIYs, and we had to rent the space. The one last night we didn't charge. So if you have to rent like a hotel or something to host it, I would feel fine charging. If you're hosting it from a home, which I think most of these, that's where most of these will take place, I would say there's no need to charge. But totally your choice. Okay, Karina's saying my fear is making sure it's structured and organized. Okay, just let go of that fear. There's no need for it to be structured or organized. Um, you just have to show up with the intention to help heal, and that's all you need to worry about. And you don't need to worry about anything, actually. It's all you need to think about. Jeff, welcome.
Welcome, LB. Happy December, and thank you for being here, Andy.
Pleasure.
Yes, I got two enrollments while I was away in LA. That was good. Husband and
Congrats.
wife. Yes, yes. Um, but aside from that, I had a call from a lady that's been on our team and enrolled her 4 years ago, and she's been hit or miss. And with a little bit of communication, she's reordered the last 2 months, over 100 PV, so that's great. And she struggles for money and health issues. And she called me last night and offered an offer for me to detoxify. It was an affiliate offer she'd gotten involved with to detoxify heavy metals.
Mm,
You know, listening to their program, she goes, "Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, and then I got on affiliate, so I thought I'd give you this, super bonus, Black Friday weekend, so on and so forth." Um, it's another essential. I forget the name, but it's they're basically they've got supplements and so and their niche that hooked her was the heavy metals. And I looked up in Essential Life, we've got several oils going for that.
hmm
And my thought is I didn't want to dissuade to say, oh no, I don't do anything but doTERRA. So I listened, and that's where I got
hmm
the name and her link.
hmm
But I'd like to get her reactivated. She's got potential. She's local, only an hour away, but um, she's got isolation hurdles, to
hmm
building. So, what do you recommend with a response to this? One is I could try it, but I don't want her to drift off in that way. I'm trying to get her refocused on her business that's actually got some potential.
hmm
But I looked at her other company's webpage, and they've got some good merits to it, but it's not doTERRA.
Yeah.
So,
So it sounds like she wants to pitch her detox product, and you're interested in getting her excited about doTERRA. So the question then is is it worth your time to listen to her pitch and to connect with her on her product? Is that the question?
Yeah, but she's been, on our team for 4 years, and has enrolled her daughter and has somebody else under it, an inactive leg, but it has potential because her dysfunctional enroller has now migrated to another team, um, and that's great for everybody. But
Uh,
I'm just wondering, the best way to get her. Um, is it worth the time to try and steer back to doTERRA? Her recent order was for December, and she did buy for the BOGOs in November. So,
uh, I guess it all just depends. Not knowing her or her situation, um, I couldn't tell you. The only thing I know is our job is just to always be inviting.
hmm
Just always be holding the door open.
hmm
Would you be interested in hosting a class? Would you be interested in hosting a webinar together that I'm really excited about the new castor oil or the new Revitazen or whatever, whatever you can truly and with integrity speak to. Um, just keep inviting. Um, and then, the key to this business is to run with those who want to run, to
hmm
not be trying to push ropes up hills. Um, so that's the trick, right? Is how to tell the difference. Um,
Yeah.
and so I would just keep inviting, keep
hmm
being, you can see that she's bringing energy to what she's offering. And so,
hmm
um, energy wins every time. If, if, uh, if you've got as much or more energy about what you're sharing, what you're offering,
hmm
that energy is contagious. So let it transfer, let it spread. Um, yeah, just always be inviting. ABI.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for hopping on, Jeff. Always good to see you.
Nice to see you too. And all the best to you and Natalie there. I like the snowy background you've got. So thanks for the visual this morning.
Yeah. Yep. It's new season. All right. Take care, Jeff.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Esther says, on the topic of being in a ministry of healing, I was recently listening to The Courage to be Disliked. That's in quotes. That's the name of the, I guess, audiobook. Now I want to get it in written form to digest it even more. And there's a follow-up book, The Courage to be Happy, that I haven't listened to yet. Awesome. Yes. Okay. Loren asks regarding the classes, in terms of duplication, um, but also continued education for existing customers, some leaders recommend to only host the natural solutions class in the business building guide. What are your thoughts about that? Um, I love the natural solutions class. Um, to me, it feels a little bit diluted, especially in comparison to these last two events that we've been talking about. Um, so I, yeah, I just think you got to go where the energy is. So whatever message most speaks to you, um, use that class. Even if the business building guide is saying one thing. We actually had a call about this yesterday with John Jensen. He's now stewarding the Empowered Success system. And so we talked to him about, hey, what if we just talk about principles of a class? Here's some key things you want to cover in a class, but maybe we don't advocate for one particular class. That way the system can be more universal and people can plug in um, whatever class they're most passionate about. So those are my thoughts on that. Um, so the history of the natural solutions class is it started out as the medicine cabinet makeover. But then as corporate took it over, it just became more and more diluted. Um, So to me, it feels really, really watered down at this point. So yeah, I'm with you, Loren. Okay, Andrea asks, how do you politely decline offers like that? I think she's talking about the one that Jeff received, the gal who's promoting the detox products. I would just say, hey, thank you so much for thinking of me. I love your hustle. I love to see your passion and energy. I'm pouring that same passion and energy into my doTERRA business, and I've been my schedule is booked solid with all the people that I'm sharing the healing the solutions with. And so I'm gonna have to take a rain check on this one, but thank you so much for thinking of me. Um, I love I love entrepreneurship. I love hustle, and so thank you for being a voice. Thank you for being thank you for taking a stand. The world needs more people like us who are taking a stand for healing, taking a stand for um, yeah, kind of bucking the system and being a solutions provider. So. Okay, somebody asks, I'd love some pre-recorded classes on hormones, uh, pain, hormones and pain, I guess. Just different subjects that I can play at a class, short and sweet, like 25, 30 minutes. Does anybody know of any of these? I don't know of anything like that. Um, as far as pain, there was definitely a couple of videos on that Essential Life videos page. So I'll post that link again. I remember. Um, let's see, where'd that link go? Too many links. There it is. Okay, so I'll paste this again. Um, so, oh, and Andrea says Laura Jacobs has a great hormone class in Enroll Pro. So if you're looking for that web address, it's enroll.pro. So thank you for that tip, Andrea. Okay, just checking to see if we have any questions on Facebook. I don't see any. Okay. Awesome. Well, any other questions today? Andrea says maybe check her website, Brilliant Solutions. I think that one is just for her team, but I could be wrong. So, um, great question. All right. Any other questions today? Brenda says, if you spend your time finding solutions in the book, I assume you mean like Essential Life book, and less time looking for already produced class content, you'll quickly see how powerful the book is and how we really can get a healer in every home. Amen to that. Amen. Yeah, I think we get so preoccupied with structure that we forget just how powerful those old classes were. I mean, gosh, how many years did we go in doTERRA without any class handouts? Not a single one. Like we were probably 3 years in before we had a single class handout. And guess how much we grew? We grew leaps and bounds. So, amen and hallelujah to that. Jeff says, any oil help for narcissists? I wouldn't know without looking it up. So it's a great question. By the way, hopefully, um, hopefully, um, I was going to do a search, but it's not finding it is taking me longer than. I don't know if anybody uses the Essential Life app, but one thing they've added recently is right here in the top corner, there's a button that takes you to an AI tool. And so um, it's more like a conversation and less like a search. How do you spell narcissism? Okay, so I just typed that into the chat feature and we're going to see what it comes up with. Um, okay, Jessica asks, how much would you say to budget per person for sample costs at an Unplugged event? Totally depends on which projects you do. The cool thing about scans is there's no additional cost once you have the subscription. So okay, here's what the app says. Oils such as lavender, frankincense, and bergamot are known for prompting relaxation, balance, and positive mood. So using these oils can help create a calming environment. Hmm. Yeah, I definitely there are bigger issues at play with narcissism. That's a big animal. Okay. If there are no other questions, then Tiffany, we'll see you next week with her. Looks like Jeff's got his hand up, so let's bring him in. Great question, Jessica, about the budgeting. All right, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you for letting me double up. That came from a question from the new enrollees I found in LA. It was at a conference, and it was such a nice couple and so helpful. Anyways, she enrolled, and after spending a couple hours talking to her, and she is all on board with it. But she comes to find out that's the description of her husband, and having troubles with that. And so I looked in the essential life before asking you, and I didn't see anything in there, including the index. So it's this dichotomy, puts out to the public, I'm a very nice guy and everything else, but behind the scenes, it's not as good.
Oh, it's terrible.
So yeah, I had such high hopes that they wanted to, create, and I guess, talk is cheap, but um, I'd really like to help them out anyways. So that's where that came from.
Yeah. Gosh, I wish I had there's no quick, easy
Mhm.
solution when it comes to uh those big, deep issues like that. So um yeah, I wish I had more for you there.
Okay, good news with them. We also went at it with the angle of the strengths test through the Gallup training, and they both took that. This is all in their first week of enrollment, and he did his first 100 names list.
Wow.
So go getter. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
encouraged in
great.
that realm. So I'm going to work at it through coaching and continue with some oils. Thanks for the suggestions, and I'll keep you
Yeah,
posted how it goes.
awesome. In the chat, Shauna says, I'd highly recommend the Essential Emotions coaching for both of them. So,
Okay.
um, yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you. Together we do so much more. Thank you very much, Andy. You lead the way excellently. Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us, Jeff.
You
And
bet.
thanks to
Thank
everyone
you.
for being here, for being um, yeah, for being a healer in your world. The world needs you. The world needs all of us. So let's keep it up. And I will see you in a couple weeks.